Hey, we're back for match 4. And on the play, which is really nice, against Human. This hand is pretty nice. We have acceleration, we have protection, we have removal, and also green sun. So I don't think this hand gets really any better. We're going to definitely keep it. Just going to go for a Savannah of this Windswept Heath. Means we have all colors open. Scalding Tarn, interesting. Ponder, okay. That's gonna be fine. Interesting. Okay, so then I think this this is definitely a game where I just want to go for Collector Ouphe. The one really nice thing about Green Suns as well is that if this does get countered, we still have Collector Ouphe in the deck. It's not actually countering Collector Ouphe, but it is countering the ability for us to get Collector Ouphe. Preordain. Let's see what they do with Preordain. Okay, and take chat away. 2 cards on the bottom. Okay, so digging for something. Scryb Ranger is pretty nice because it's pretty much a free card. Untap Noble, return Savannah. Play Savannah. Play Noble. Attack with Collector Ouphe for 4. Play Mum. And then we get to hold up Swords if it's relevant. I assume this is going to be Breach combo, and the whites for Enlightened Tutor. Chose not to shuffle. Okay, that's a little bit scary. But they're going to let us pass. Interesting. I'm going to take care of this now. See if they have anything. No. Attack with Ouphe. Play a snow-covered forest. Make them think that we have something that needs snow-covered forests. Brainstorm. Okay. Maybe that means they drew into a fetch land? Or maybe not. Okay, they're Brainstorm locked. Interesting. Unless they have Enlightened Tutor. I'm going to keep this Grove in my hand until I actually have to play it, because I'd rather hold off the fact that we have blue, red in the deck. This knight also represents a win next turn through damage, which is nice. This will be 2, 4, and then Exalted is 6. They're going to force it. Pitching Brain Freeze. Okay, that resolves. Digging, I guess 1 card deeper. Yeah, okay. We get there, which is nice. So let's go with Punishing Fire out, Swords to Plowshares out, Questing Beast out, Hexdrinker most likely out. This one's an interesting card. I think it's okay, perhaps. I definitely want the 4 ley lines. I definitely want the Pyroblasts and the Red Element Blasts, the Veils, and the Cindervines. It can probably drop down on something like the Cradle. Mum's still relevant at holding things on the field. Could probably drop down on a Knight. Maybe 2 Knights. And we rely on the Green Suns package to just... I think because we're bringing in... We definitely rely on Hate Bears in this matchup, that dropping the Knights aren't too bad because we still have win conditions just through our creatures in general, a lot of our 2/2s. So I'm going to see how this goes. This could be over sideboarding though. Maybe there's no need for all 4 blasts. You can definitely have the situation where we don't have a hand that can win the game. We just have a hand of answers, but I think this is pretty close to a hand that can win the game, which is nice. We'll keep this, put in Leyline. Turn 1 we have Mother of Runes, and we can hold up Red Elemental Blast as well. Chose not to shuffle. Interesting. I wonder then if my play is to go Mum into Green Suns for 2 for Gaddock Teeg or Collector Ouphe, most likely Collector Ouphe. I don't mind then holding up Red Elemental Blast for turn 1 or Pyroblast. Turn 2 we have Mum, and then by turn 3 when we're casting Green Suns, Mum is online. This also stops some sort of bounce effect and go off. Let's go for Mum. And pass. Now the real question is, do I want to play around counter magic for the Green Suns, which I think right now I'm not too unhappy with. Cindervines is really nice as well, but we can't currently cast it. And also hold up one of these, so I think I'm just going to go Grove Pass. I think we have the luxury of having one more turn. Although maybe I'm being too patient. Maybe I should have played a turn 3 play just because they're both so good. Serenity. Interesting. Okay, at least we can deal with it with Cindervines, which is kind of nice. I could have tapped out for Qasali Pridemage, but I think Green Suns for Collector Ouphe is just that little bit better. And to be fair, maybe I can be attacking with Mum here. It's not really doing anything else. Wow, just a pass back. So now we get to cast Green Suns and have both LEBs open. Blasts open, I apologize. So let's go fetch. Let's get Taiga. Green Suns. Collector Ouphe. Pass. We also have Scryb Ranger up. So we can, in fact, double protect with Mum. But we won't be able to Pyroblast effects there. Opponent is paying costs. Enlightened Tutor. Okay. It'd be funny if they had something like Humility. That would be pretty broken. Can't really beat that. I guess we can through Leyline and Blast, so we can just try to stop the combo, but still. One interesting thing about Enlightened Tutor is that this turns on Wasteland on fetches because they most likely want to keep the card on top. So if we did have a Wasteland open here, I'd most likely be inclined to Wasteland one of their fetches before their upkeep. Seal of Cleansing, okay. I think I'm happy just casting Scryb Ranger in the end step. We do actually have a way of also casting... So here I'm just going to cast Scryb Ranger in response. Not sure if that's actually correct. Maybe I should have just held up the blasts. Now this is a little bit more scary. Okay, interesting. At the beginning of your upkeep, for each land target player controls in excess of the number you control, choose a land that player controls. Wow. I guess it's still worth casting Thalia this turn. Because then they fade in for my turn, I believe. Do I want to fight over this? I think I kind of do. They're obviously trying to dig for something. It could be a bait spell. I don't know this matchup well enough. But I still think it's a pretty great hit with so much pressure on. They obviously want to bounce something. I think I'm happy actually blasting this as well. Because my out is drawing into Green Suns for Qasali Pridemage for this guy. Alright, they have a turn. It's preordained. Hopefully bottom. Here we go. Two cards bottom. It's great for us. Another preordain. Two cards to the bottom. Three cards in my opponent's hand. One blue source. They really need Breach. They really need Breach. And they have it. Come on, bottom. I guess they can only find LED because they're tapped out, right? Have they played a land for turn? I don't think they have. Maybe they can find a land and then preordain once more? One top, one bottom. Be interesting as well if they do find LED, touch wood. What else is in their deck? We can definitely have a look at what they start milling or yeah, what starts entering play. This is a really interesting card. And I love to see it. I love seeing players try out new cards. And this is a card that I have actually never seen before. But it seems great against this deck. Grinding Station. Okay. Preordained to draw it. Now I guess they mill us out? I assume that's the way they win? So they can sack an artifact. Target player puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, you may untap Grinding Station. Okay. Well, this is going to take some time for my opponent. Obviously, isn't an easy combo to do online. Breach is a cool card. I think there's a lot of players right now trying it out and building different variants. I've seen Jeskai, I've seen Grixis. I'm a big fan of Grixis because you get the discard as well through Duress and Thoughtseize, which is really nice. But it's one of those cards that I feel maybe WotC didn't really test it in Legacy and kind of just looked at some of the other formats. Because it is very good at what it does. A lot of people have compared it to Yawgmoth's Will, which is definitely very relevant. Because the card's good. There's no doubt about that. Ways to beat it for Maverick. Dryad Militant is actually a great card. Dryad Militant is a card that has a static effect that any instants or sorceries going to the graveyard are exiled instead. It's a card that Green-White Maverick players have been playing in the main deck recently, which is really nice and obviously yielded some pretty good results. It's also great against opposing Punishing Fires and Snapcast Mage decks. It's really nice because, of course, damage doesn't kill creatures state-based actions do. So if someone Punishing Fires your Dryad Militant, it resolves, it gets exiled, and then state-based actions kill the Dryad Arbor. So the first Punishing Fire gets exiled by Dryad Militant before it actually leaves the battlefield, which is cool. But I've been trying to figure out ways to deal with this deck as well. Collector Ouphe in the main deck is really nice. Thalia, of course, is pretty nice. Leyline's pretty good. It's nice to have a mixture of cards. Because there's cards like Serenity, there's cards like this where you just want, you want cards in your hand like Blasts, you want enchantments like Cindervines or Leyline, you want creatures like Collector Ouphe or Thalia, just to make sure you're really making use of all sort of zones and using them as a resource as best you can. Seal's interesting, especially as a 1-mana play. You can play it on turn 1 and then just sacrifice it later on. Teferi's Realm. I believe that's another one. So Teferi's Realm is at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That player chooses artifacts, creatures, lands, or non-aura enchantments. All non-token permanents of that type phase out. Pretty sweet. So there's Breach, and that looks like that's going to be a kill. Deafening Silence is also a great card to bring in against this deck. It would be nice if I had a way for my opponent to force my opponent to draw cards. That'd be kind of cool. But I don't think I do, unfortunately. Thassa's Oracle is another way to win. When it enters the battlefield, yeah, you look at your library and you have nothing, so that's how you win. Okay. I don't think I'd change anything. I still like what's in the sideboard. I think all the fair stuff is out of it. I think we have some pretty great cards to play around with, so I'm just going to submit the same list and see how it goes. Would love to play first. It sounds kind of nice. We don't have Leyline, but we do have a Thalia, Pyroblast, and Green Sun, so I'm going to keep this. I'm going to lead on the Taiga. Another Thalia is pretty nice. I'm just going to go for Thalia here. If they want to force it, that's fine. We have another one, and we have Pyroblast, which is really nice. Hierarch's interesting. I don't mind Hierarch here, and then just Green Sun's the next turn for 2. This also increases the clock of Thalia. Petal's fine. Scryb Ranger's interesting. 1/2, untap replay, and then have mana up. Yeah, I like Scryb Ranger. I might actually go to attacks first. Untap return. So I have the option of Green Suns here, but it means I can't hold up Pyroblast. Is that an issue? think it's better. Force, okay. Pitching force. Alright. Fetch is always scary. Hopefully it means Ponder. Or Preordained if they want to keep the cards on top. Alright. Now we really need removal for that. Leyline. Doesn't do it. Might as well attack with both. I guess if the Noble Hierarch was a birds, we could, because we could untap it with Scryb Ranger and produce double black, but not happening here. Pretty happy just to counter this, I believe. It might be the bait spell, but I'd much rather just get it in the bin. Wasteland here would be pretty big. I guess, like, there's a few cards that are good. Knight's okay, a little bit slow. I mean, it does mean we could win next turn if we have it. I mean, we do have lethal next turn because the Knight's a 3/3. With Exalted, it's a 4/4, and we can also use Knight's ability to sack a land and then untap it with Scryb Ranger to attack. Definitely a tight game. Look at top 2. Pass back to me. Interesting. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Pretty nice draw. Untap, return this. Combat. Swing with Knight. Nice. Alright, so we get there. Which is pretty good. So that is game 4. Hopefully we can come back and get the 5th. We'll see you later.